Hi, my favorite artist. So today we are going to learn about making a low relief printmaking piece, and it's going to be really fun. You can use materials that you find at home, and I just want you to see how easy this can be. So one of the first things that you're going to need is some styrofoam. You can use a styrofoam plate just like this one, or you could use one of the styrofoam boxes that you get when you're doing like takeout. You'll also notice that the trays of vegetables that sometimes your parents will order, they'll have a tray and it's made out of styrofoam. You can use that as well. So anything that's styrofoam is going to work perfectly for this project. So we're going to use a plate because that's what I have available. And one of the first things we want to do is use some scissors and cut out the big section here on the plate. And I'm doing this so it becomes almost like a foam piece of paper. So if you're using the takeout box, you want to use the flattest part of the takeout box and cut off the edges. It doesn't matter that this is round. I can actually make it a rectangle if I really wanted to later. There we go. Okay, so now that we have our circle piece of foam, we are also going to need a ballpoint pen. The ballpoint pen is going to be used to draw out our pattern and to indent into the foam. So we're going to start with a dot right in the center of our circle, and we're just going to draw very lightly. Make sure that you're not pushing too hard with your ballpoint pen yet. And the next thing we're going to do is start adding other circles all the way out to the outer edge. So let's get started. Start with your dot in the middle, and then we're going to add a smaller circle around that. And remember, I'm doing this very lightly just to get an idea of where I want my circles. I'm going to start another circle outside of that one. And you can actually make thinner circles as well. So I'm going to make a little bit thinner circle. So these two are going to be closer together, giving me a different type of pattern. And then I'm going to add a larger one that goes out further towards the edge. Now these circles don't have to be perfect, so don't worry too much if you see that they're a little bit lopsided. That's okay. Now we're going to go back over and push down a little harder on our outline, making sure that you don't push too hard because you don't want to go through the foam. If you feel your pen snag on the foam, lift up your pen and start to go the other way to connect it. If you keep pulling on that part where you have snagged yourself, you're going to realize that it's going to tear the foam and ruin your artwork. So follow along, pushing down just a little bit. See, I got a snag, so I lift it up and I went the other way. And keep going until you've finished your entire circles. There. Once you've finished pushing down on all of your circles and making sure that it didn't go through the other side, you can actually feel the ridges on your foam. And anything that's raised is actually going to print on the paper. Anything that's indented is going to leave white on your paper. So next I'm going to start designing, and everything that I do is going to be somewhat geometrical. So I'm going to go in the middle and begin making just these little loops. It's going to end up looking like a flower, but you can make any design that you would like. And in this case, instead of drawing it out first, I'm actually pushing down right away. So if I make a mistake, it's going to have to stay. For this next circle, I already have something in mind, but I need to keep in mind what I want to do with the other circles as well. So in this circle, I'm going to go ahead and start making triangles. Now you have to remember that when you're just drawing right into your design, you have to be very careful with every move you make, because anything that is pushed down is going to show up in your print later. So let's keep on designing. Now that we have our design done, you can see that at the top here I have some extra foam. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and just trim that little bit down so it's more circular. Because right now it's kind of got a wobble to it. So once I've cut that off, I lay it down. That looks much better. Add more details if you would like before we get started on the next step. For the next step, we're going to color our design using washable markers. Make sure that they say washable, otherwise the print is not going to work. You can either go in with detail and color in every little section, or you can just color in one whole circle, no matter what the pattern is, with a color. So color it however you would like and make sure that all of it is colored, and we'll get to the next step. Once you have your mandala colored in the way that you'd like, you need to get yourself a white piece of paper, a little bit of water, and a paper towel. The way that this works is we want to add water to our paper with the paper towel, and then we want to lay our print down onto the piece of paper. What's going to happen is the ink from the washable markers is going to come off onto our paper, leaving a print. Then we can rinse this off and use it again and again. So let's see. So I take my wet paper towel and I rub it on the piece of paper just enough to make it glossy. When you see a nice shine to it, then it's ready for us to take our printing plate and laying it down. So we take our plate and we lay it down with the color side facing the paper. And as you rub your printing plate onto the paper, you want to make sure that you're rubbing all the edges and making it nice and smooth, but also make sure that you don't move it on the paper at all. Otherwise, it will mess up your print below. Once you've rubbed the printing plate, we're going to pull it back gently, and you're going to see your magnificent print on your paper. What I absolutely love about making printing plates like this is they're reusable. So I can actually take this printing plate and I can wash it off, or I could actually wet down the paper in some other area and lay it down to make another print and use up what ink is left on there. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and good luck making your own printing plates and making your prints.